I'm Shane Hewitt. Welcome to the Shiftheads podcast. One of our trusted Shifthead friends, Handy Andy Barrar, disappeared at the end of October into November as he went on to vacation, which was a very Andy thing to do, which I should probably welcome him in so you can see his handsome face and his very sun-kissed face. Handy Andy, welcome back, brother.
Thanks, Shane. It's the longest I've gone without talking to you, so we have
It
lots to
is.
catch up today. Yeah.
Well, we do. And Mike Yanni, your buddy,
Yep.
there's two things that you probably need to know that happened while you were gone.
Okay.
Number one was I explained to him that you had taken a vacation, but you justified it by going to buy suits internationally. And he
Yes.
figured that was a very handy Andy thing to do.
Yes.
He agreed with me. And the other thing is that I did ask him to give me one handy Andy story
Oh.
from your travels.
Oh.
And but I put on a rule. I said nobody can get arrested because of this story or lose their
Yeah.
job.
Yeah.
So he really didn't have a story at that point when I put the rule on it. So that's kind of the way it played out. So he shared a little bit about your shenanigans, but basically that you were a lot of fun. And whenever you see shiny things in Vegas, good luck trying to corral you into going to where you were supposed to go.
Yeah, I made quite a reputation in Vegas because I kind of was thinking, work hard, play harder. And I used to try to do that in Vegas, but the house always wins. So I've kind of given up on that. In fact, I'm actually going to Vegas again for the electronic show, the big electronic show in January. And Shane, I'm like considering doing it dry, like I don't know if anyone's ever gone to Vegas dry, but it's something that I've been thinking about. But I think I'll disappoint all my tech friends because they expect me to kind of let loose.
Yeah.
But I'm getting older, so I don't really want to do that anymore.
Well, you kind of are. You're kind of the novelty of the party now at this point, from what I'm told. That is.
Yeah, it's funny because like I go there and people remember me and like they like recognize me and I'm just like whoa, like I guess it's because I come there once a year. It's the same people.
Yeah.
So
I did ask Mike Yanni, I said, what like how hard is it to get anywhere when Andy will talk to anybody? And he was like,
yeah.
it's very difficult to get anywhere when you're with Andy because he will talk to everybody.
Well,
He will
it's
spend
funny.
15 minutes talking to the server.
I'll go to people. I'm like, do you know who I am? And they're like, no. I'm like, you're not from Canada, are you? And they're like, no. I'm like, well, I just want you to know I'm a real big deal in Canada. And I've gotten limos. I have gotten limos things where like this one company's like, come to our hotel. We want to show you this. I'm like, well, I only ride in limos. So if you can get one, I'll come. And sure enough, they sent me a limo. And next thing you know, I'm like, I got to pick up my other tech journalists. So I'm like, where are you? And then I show up to hotels in this limo. They're like, what did you do? How did you get this? I'm like, ask no questions, receive no lies, just jump in, let's go. And
That's
then
so
I
good.
like, I make friends with the limo driver. And yeah, so it's pretty fun. It's pretty fun for the 2 or 3 days that I'm in Vegas.
Now this is good. And so this is exactly how I imagine it unfolding when you go on your trip. So you were gone from the radio show
Yeah.
and you're back now. And there's been many a shift head that has posted since the show ended that they wanted to hear, oh, I don't get to hear how Andy's trip was. That's why we're here to
Yeah.
share Andy's trip. Before you got some really good B-roll video that you took just generally of your trip. How did it go? How'd you feel? Did you get the suits that you wanted? Because that was the plan. You wanted a break, you wanted suits.
Yeah, so I just for people that don't know the story, basically I needed to buy new suits and I went, in Vancouver, I went and looked off the rack suits and they're very expensive. I went shopping just looking for sweaters and everything. Everything's expensive. So I went shopping maybe 2 or 3 times, came back with nothing. And I'm like, this is nuts. I gotta buy these suits. I need it. I don't have any suits anymore that fit me. So then I decided, you know what? I'll just make a trip, a shopping trip where all I do is shop. I don't do have any other fun. I'm going to be super disciplined and I'm going to get this done and I'll save money in the meantime. So that's what I did. And I had picked Thailand because I had bought, I got a tailor-made suit back in 2006 when I was going to business school. And me and my friend, we were backpacking through Thailand. I was like, oh, I got to get these suits made. So I quickly, got measured up and got these suits, but they don't fit me anymore. So what I did, Shane, I took the pants that I got from 2006 back to Thailand to the exact same tailor and got him to adjust them. And then I also got some additional suits made while I was there. And then as the suits were getting made, because these are all tailor made, as they were getting made, I'm going through the fittings. I was also going to the malls in Thailand to buy all of my clothes. So essentially, I came back with an entire new wardrobe of clothes, everything from pants, socks, even underwear. I found the best pair of underwear ever in Thailand. And sweaters, you name it. They had actually winter clothing there, which really surprised me because it was like 33 degrees
Right.
Celsius every day.
I thought the
But
same thing. I went to Sears in Hawaii once, and they had winter coats and mitts, and I was like, "This is weird," but okay.
well, but I wanted to take a video because I saw all these Thai people putting on these fleece sweaters and
Yeah,
everything with
I think they
layers.
do it for when they travel, right? I don't think it's for there. I think they buy it before they travel.
I totally wanted to talk to them. I'm like, what's going on? Like, do you know how hot it is outside? Like, why do you even have this winter wear? However, a lot of tourists in Southeast Asia and that area, they go to Thailand to shop because the sales tax, if you're a tourist, they'll actually reimburse you for all the sales tax because the tax is actually in the price. So whatever you see, that's included with the tax. And I've always never understood why we don't do that in North America, where what you see is what you pay, just have it embedded. I really like that over there, but it was nice because after all the shopping was done and I had my receipts at the airport, I got some money back from all the sales tax that I spent. So overall, it was a really smart decision. I saved a lot of money and I did have some fun because I was in the sun the whole time. And in November. So that was kind of nice as well. But overall, yeah, really, really good trip. It was a good idea. I got the suits made and I have pretty much an entirely new wardrobe created as a result of this trip. And this is someone who hates shopping, and all
Mhm.
I did was shop for about
That's
3
cool.
weeks.
When I left Dublin, there was a little kiosk. Now you didn't get the money back right away. They sent you. I think you gave them your credit card number, and then they reimbursed your credit card. And that's what they did too. They did the same thing. You put your receipts in,
Yeah.
or a copy of your receipts, and then you submitted it all, and then they took that, and then that was it. Then all of a sudden, a few weeks later, it was maybe almost even a month, but then there was a return for $47 of income or of sales tax on
Yeah.
the items. Yeah,
Yeah, I
good
think
idea.
I got about $150 back, and it was like I got this at the airport. I'm trying to get into my flight, so I don't have much time, and now I have all this like Thai. It's called baht. That's their currency. So I'm like, what am I supposed to do? I was gonna try to buy like a bottle or something at the duty free, but I just didn't have time. Thankfully, I was sitting beside an American on the plane. I was telling him I got all this Thai baht. He actually has a place in Thailand. He flies back and forth, so he gave me some U.S. currency
Oh,
right
nice.
there on the plane. So that worked out because I am going to Vegas next month. So,
Yeah. So this will be your
um,
alcohol money that you're not going to
or,
use.
or not, I still haven't made a decision whether I do it dry because the only people are going to be disappointed is all the other tech journalists, and we all get together all the time when we're there. And I think if I'm like not like hanging out and drinking beers with them, they're going to be kind of shocked.
Maybe we
So
should ask that of the shift heads. Like, do you believe it, or should we have a bet for beers?
like,
Does Andy stay dry in Vegas? Yes or no?
because here's the thing, in Thailand, I did not drink. The only time I drank was actually at the tailors because when you're getting your suits fit, they ask you, do you want to have like a nice, like, cocktail or something? It's quite the experience. So the only time I actually drank there, and I'm telling you, I was in a tourist area, Shane, bar at like an entire block of bars, and I have to walk by every day across these bars while people are just sitting there drinking. And I was being so disciplined. Like, I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm here to shop. I'm just going to keep shopping. I had a list of everything that I wanted to buy, just like when you go grocery shopping, except it was for clothes. And I did it. That's why I was like, you know what? I have the discipline now to go to Vegas dry and just
Wow.
work, and get some sleep. That's something I never do when I'm there. So I'm like, maybe this is the year I actually sleep, work, and then get out of Dodge.
Wow. I don't know. I hope you do, but that's discipline that I am not familiar with at
I'm
all.
a new man. I'm a new man. After this trip, I learned a lot about myself. Like, I took something that I don't like to do and I made an entire trip about shopping. Like Shane, I was in malls every single day when I wasn't at the tailors,
Interesting.
and it was painful, but I got good at it.
What'd you learn
And
about
I
yourself then? What was your takeaway? The good, the bad. We all love you. With the good, the bad, the ugly. What'd you learn?
One thing I learned is that I can do hard things, like that I don't like to do. I
Mhm.
have that focus, I have that discipline, and just like I love Thai food and I did not overeat, I did not even use like taxis or transit. I walked everywhere. So, and I really kind of like when you're walking in a new city, you can really kind of absorb, you see everything. And I just really enjoyed it. So I'm a real simpleton. I don't know what it is. The older I get, I don't need much,
I love
but
walking. You're right. I
yeah,
agree. It's the best way to see it. You notice all the fine details. I would never have known because walking in Dublin was, I think it was 29,000 steps a day.
yeah,
That I would never have heard the story about how why nobody has balconies up top
yeah,
because all the iron was used. They were taken down during the war so they could use the iron.
yeah.
And so that's why there's not balconies at most places. And you'll see the odd places that had the odd balcony and
Yeah.
how important that was. I mean, little stories like that that you would never have known.
Well, I'll give you an example. As I'm walking, this is like a major city. We have a population of 11 million people. And it's a very high tech, everything, great like construction, except the sidewalks everywhere I go. I'm like, why is it all tiles? They don't have like concrete sidewalks. Everything's
Hmm.
tiles. And I noticed that they're always doing road work everywhere. And because I almost like, rolled my ankle on one tile that moved. So I'm like, what's going on? And so back when I was back at my place, I'm like Googling it. What's going on with, the city of Bangkok and these like, it's not a very walkable city. Well, it turns out the city is actually sinking. Bangkok is sinking. So
Wow.
they're constantly retiling where there's like a sinkhole and then they have to fix it. Because like what else are you gonna do? If the entire city is sinking, they just keep building on top of it. Then any new construction, I noticed, they're building it higher. So there's like stairs because they know eventually that building is probably going to go and sink. So I would have never have noticed this had I not walked everywhere. And I just started to notice things like, what is wrong with this city? There's no good sidewalks.
Mm.
And that's because
That must
that
be
entire
slippery in the
city,
rain. Did it rain when you were there?
it did rain. There was like monsoon style rain, but thankfully I was like looking at the app when it was going to rain, and then I would stay indoors. So I didn't actually get stuck. I brought an umbrella a couple of times, but I didn't get like torrential downpour on me during that. It was hot, Shane. I was drinking because I had to, get my own water there. I was buying 6 liter water tub, and I would drink that every day. I might go like pee once or twice a day. It was just sweating everywhere I went. It was
Wow.
that hot. It was really weird where I'm drinking all these fluids, but I'm not like it's not coming
Now you
out.
go
I'm
to the
just
bathroom.
sweating it. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
it
amazing.
was very, very odd.
So let's get started here, Handy Andy. You took us on a you went on a tour down in Bangkok of all the things. You took some video from everybody. So let's
Yeah.
get started here so everyone can kind of get an idea as to what this looked like with your trip walking around.
Yeah. So
So tell us what this is.
this is the tailor shop, and you can just see you're gonna get a lot of choice when it comes to fabrics. You have to pick any kind of color, different types of material. So it's actually quite hard to get a custom bespoke suit made because of all the choices. You get kind of like, you have that paradox of choice where you have
Yeah,
so much choice
decision
that
paralysis, right?
absolutely, and that was something. That was the hardest part of this whole trip was trying to pick the colors because I was just inundated with all of these different types of materials. I had to do a lot of YouTube watching videos to learn about the fabrics. Also, tailor-made shirts. I got 4 of those as well, and you can see on this side, that's all of the different types of material that you can get to get these shirts made, right to like fit you like a glove. But the entire experience, I feel like everybody should have that experience of getting tailor-made clothing. Now, this couple that in the shop that we're at, they're quite popular. George Bush, there's George Bush
Wow.
Sr. with them. He got a tailor-made suit here, and that was one of the reasons why I chose this tailor, just because they work with a lot with the U.S. Embassy, and he got both Bushes, both senior and junior suits made from there. So I figured if it's good enough for a U.S. president, it's probably good enough for Handy Andy. So that's pretty much what it looks like when you come into the shop. They measure you up, you pick the kind of fabrics that you want, and
Hmm.
then you come back after about 7 to 10 business days for your first fitting. And then from there, they make modifications based upon that initial fit, and then you can tweak it from there. I wanted a real slim fit, so they spent a lot of time doing that. Now, crossing the street. It's like the game Frogger, if you
Well, I was
remember
going to
that.
ask you, did you rent a motorcycle or did you risk it at
No,
all and do it? No.
no, but man, you have to be super alert when you're trying to cross the streets because I don't know, it's just a different type of culture, driving culture, where people are kind of just weaving in and out. And I was
Wow.
like, wow, like it is tough. Like you have to be on point when you're crossing some of these big streets. That was one of the
You know, what's great about that is, all the people that look down on their phones. There was some kids crossing the street looking at their phones the other day, almost got hit by cars when I was driving. I'm
oh
like, this is a
yeah.
great place for those people to go to. They will learn to never do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, this is one of their biggest malls in Bangkok. It's called Central World.
Oh, it's Christmas.
Oh yeah, they had a big Christmas display. Look at like people wouldn't expect, a city like Bangkok to have like these giant malls, but look at this. This is one of several malls that I went to, mall after mall. They even have malls for just luxury brands where you have like valet parking for like super rich people. But this mall is where most of the people went. Even when you look at the map, it's super interactive, super high tech. I was very, very impressed.
Wow.
And what I would do, I would just get lost, Shane. I would just walk around and around, help me fine tune my navigational skills, because like with
Yeah.
these days with like Google Maps and Apple Maps, we don't really use our brain. But
Well, and that's the best way to go on vacation. Just get lost, really.
that's exactly what I did. I knew that the malls were within walking distance, so I just kept going to every mall, and I would spend just days. Here's a look. It's like 7, 8 floors,
Wow.
nonstop shops. I was like, wow, this is ginormous. And this is just one of several malls that were in that vicinity. By far, this was the largest one. And I spent a lot of time in malls. I haven't done that since I was like 12 or 13, when you're like a teenager and you're just kind of like hanging out in the mall. But in Thailand, that's the culture. They have a huge mall culture because it's so hot outside. If you're going to hang out with your friends, you go to the mall. And
That's
that's
cool.
where you go on dates or you just hang out with your friends, you shop, you bring the kids there. Everything happens in these malls because they're air conditioned.
Did you well, that's the thing, right? Is it's a place you can go where it's cool, which I imagine is an important piece of the puzzle. But I saw H&M, I saw Armani Exchange, I saw some real brand names there. Are the prices any better for those brands there versus what you buy in North America?
Great question, Shane. Now, for the luxury brands, the big like the Burberrys, the like Armani, those types of brands, if you go into those shops, the prices aren't much of a difference. However, if you go to what they call fast fashion shops like Zara, H&M, Uniqlo, which is a very, very popular department store in both Asia and now in North America, those prices are much, much better for when you compare it to like the prices in Canada. So I found these t-shirts, for example, they fit me like a glove. Perfect t-shirts cost about $7. So I went and got every color. I'm like white, black, blue, green, I'll take all of them at that price. And then you, of course, save money on the tax as well. So the luxury brands, when I went into these luxury malls, it's crazy, like valet parking, when just like sports cars. They have guys who will just carry your bags for you as you're shopping in, and every shop has a door with a security guy. Like once you enter, everybody pays attention to you. So it was really interesting to see like the uber rich shop. I would just sit in the malls and just people watch like super rich people shop in these stores and how much attention everybody gave them. And then you go to like the more middle class shops, very similar to in North America. I went to the mall, Shane, on Black Friday. I was there for like 20, 30 minutes. I had to leave. It
Oh,
was
is
like
it
a
crazy there
war
too?
zone.
Yeah.
It
Really,
was a
eh?
war. I went to H&M in the female section. All I could hear was just like the hangers clicking, click, 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 click. And I was like, whoa, I've never heard so many clicks. And just like people, they had like buy one, get one free. So people were just going crazy and all just piles of clothes everywhere. I left. I was like, you know what? I can't shop in this kind of like the lineups were just at the till. We're just outside of the mall, like out of the store into the mall. So just shows you that people everywhere like a good deal.
Well, they do like a good deal, and it always takes me back to that place. I mean, we talk about being more responsible, and we say that the world is this eco world here in Canada that we want to live in, right? Like,
Yeah.
hey, we need to be electric cars, we got to be doing the no plastic straws, all that. But then you look at how much consumption is going on around the world,
Yeah.
including here. But I mean, literally nobody is stopping doing what they want to do. Fast fashion and all of the culprits of maybe not great human rights things as well.
Yeah.
It's not stopping anybody. It seems to be there. What's that contrast look like there? Were you surprised by that? Because the perspective that we get fed here in Canada is that, everybody's responsible now. We're green, everything, but the world is not green.
No, no. Even in the building that I was at, they didn't like they kind of had a recycling where you would put your recyclables and then you put the garbage, but people weren't like following it. And I was like, wow, like, we in North America, like everyone I know recycles and they do it properly. But over there, people weren't, taking it as seriously. And so that's the interesting thing when you kind of go somewhere. And for me, I was there for 3 weeks in one spot. So I almost felt like I lived there. I was kind of getting a routine of wake up schedule. Felt like I was a professional shopper, but I felt like I lived there. And I was like, wow, consumerism is everywhere. Doesn't matter what city you go. Like,
Yeah, that's the thing.
people love to shop, and
Yeah.
I'm not much of a consumer. But I
That's the
had to
thing,
be
though.
in
That's
that
what the
world.
world is into. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was kind of eye-opening for me because I don't spend any time in malls. I don't buy things unless I need to. So I made a trip just to kind of get this done and to see the consumerism. Just people love shopping. And I
Mhm.
was like, wow, like
It
and
is
it
wild.
was it was more affordable. I was in a sauna in the building that I was staying in, and I met this Canadian who ended up moving to Thailand. And me and him got chatting. He's a little bit older than me, and he's like, yeah, I went back to Canada during the pandemic, but as soon as they lifted, I came back. And I was like, why did you come back? Why did you decide to live here? And he was like, you tell me a Canadian city where $1,000 I can live in like downtown, and I can get a meal for $4. That's how much it costs typically. And I was like, yeah, good point. Like the
Hmm.
affordability. If especially a lot of remote workers, the building that I was staying in, they had a whole floor. It was almost like WeWork, where all the remote workers would just sit there on their laptops and work. So, people from all over the world are making money as a remote worker, but it's much, much more affordable over there. You could actually go out and like have a social life as opposed to over here with the cost of living is so high. That was a big eye opener for me. To
Yeah.
see.
Well, you're a family guy. A family to you is everything. And we don't
Yeah.
talk about your family often on here, but your relationship with your parents and the proximity to them, I mean, that's everything to you. And one of the reasons why that you have always stayed there. So I know it's not really an option for you to leave family. Maybe when time comes and your parents get older and pass
Yeah.
on, it becomes a thing. But did that challenge that piece? I realize I'm asking a question that the audience has never really heard before because it's been more of our private conversation. But
Yeah.
did that challenge some of those pieces of the where you look at your life today and you're like, you know what, this could be an opportunity. This could be a
Yeah.
thing for Andy.
Jane, I spent a lot of time in this like a dry sauna there, so I had a lot of time to think, and I was thinking that I'm like, wow, like I could go play pool, I can like, have like a social life, hang out, have friends. Like I'm gonna be honest, here in North America, ever since COVID, I spend a lot of time at home, and like just trying to go out for dinner with your friends. If you go to a bar or a restaurant, it's expensive.
I
But
had
over
one.
there,
I want to what they call those small pints. I forget what they call them. It was like a small pint of Guinness. I had a bowl of one chicken thigh
yeah,
on it. Well, it was about one and a half chicken thighs. There was some. It was like a green curry with a little bit of mashed potato and another veg underneath the bottom, and those two things together was $45.
wow, this is what I mean. This is
Hmm.
what I mean. And so I don't want to go out. Over there, I was like, wow, I could actually have a completely different lifestyle. And I thought about that. I'm like, but it was my parents, I'm like, they're getting older and they have that peace of mind knowing that I'm close by if they need everything. I used to live in Toronto and then my dad got sick and I ended up moving back to BC. And then I realized, because my brother wasn't living here. And I was like, somebody needs to be here just in case, and that's probably the only reason that would keep me here, right now. I would probably get like a remote job and live somewhere else where it's more affordable. But the thing is, I love Canada. I want to live here.
Yeah.
It's just really hard these days, you
So
know?
expensive.
It's just a different lifestyle when you live here compared to living abroad. And if you're in the knowledge economy where you could have a remote job and you're younger and you have nothing holding you back, I highly recommend people try it out at least. For myself, I was like maybe 1 month a year, I just go somewhere else. So I don't leave Canada, but at the same time, I want to have more experiences like this because there's a big world out there, and as much as I love being in Canada, it's hard to make ends meet here.
It is hard. It is so hard. And your timing is impeccable. For anybody who missed the Shiftheads podcast from Sunday, December 10th, that's with the Coles, the family that they moved from Southern Ontario and basically swapped their house financially to get a chateau in France, which is a beautiful castle, which you can see
Wow.
in that video as well here on the channel. So this is cool for all the Shiftheads that are joining us, Andy, because they haven't had a chance to see this part of our relationship, this part of you, and to be able to learn more about it. So you'll be back. We'll do more things next week. We'll have Handy Andy back on again. And I'm sure you've got some pre-Christmas ideas. Andy's travels could be a new bit here. We could do that too,
Well,
right?
hey, another thing I was thinking is maybe I should be like the help with men's fashion because I spent so much time, like even when I wasn't at the mall, when I was back at my place, I'm watching videos on like men's style, like what kind of shoes men need. So I feel like I got this whole new knowledge that I should share with people and just kind of help guys. Because one thing I've learned, and I would look at men and how they dress everywhere I went. And men, we dress for comfort, we don't really
Oh, we
dress
do not.
necessarily
We're
for
bad at it.
style.
You know who will watch that if you do those videos? It'll be all women because they'll be
Yes.
like, my partner, my husband
Yeah.
needs help. So I'm going to learn all the things from Handy Andy.
I
I
think
love
so
it.
because during the winter, what else kind of content should I make? I have all these new clothes. All I have to do is like play dress up and then explain the logic of why I put this outfit together and with these shoes.
Yeah, you'll have like with those Amazon ladies I always get fed in my Instagram stream about
Yeah.
the 7 things you must buy from Amazon. So
Yeah.
look
Yeah.
forward to seeing you in your shiny tights because that's apparently the thing to buy. HandyAndyMedia.com. Connect with everybody. Do us a favor. Go to his YouTube page. We'll link it here as well. So you can follow along with Andy as Andy does his tech and his DIY videos. You can subscribe and then you'll get notified to all those videos as well. Do us a favor and share this with your friends. Many people have asked, how can I help with what you're up to? The simple answer is this, is tell everybody you know and share it with them. So hopefully they'll pass it on too. Share it on your socials and let's spread the good word. I'm Shane Hewitt, Handy Andy Barrar. Thanks for being here, brother.
Thanks, Shane.
Make sure you check it out and shiftheads.ca on the Shiftheads podcast. I'm Shane Hewitt. It is Good News Tuesday. We share good news. My good news for you is that coming up later this week, Alan Frew from Glass Tiger is going to join me for some conversation. Oh, look, he's right there. Alan, I just did the rhyme finally that I was trying to do. Alan Frew is here for you. How you doing, brother? You've got some conversation about lots of stuff that's coming up that we can share in 80s, 90s rewind in particular. What are you excited about?
Shane, well, I'm excited to share this time with you. I'm excited to talk about our passion and our love for music. And I'm excited to tell you about this new 80s, 90s rewind.
Now, we do a thing here on with the Shiftheads that we call Good News Tuesday, where we all have to share one nugget of good news from our day. And I'm going to put you on the spot. It could be big or small. It could be the littlest thing, whatever. Is there one piece of good news maybe from your day that you can share with all of us for the spirit of Good News Tuesday?
Yeah, my good news is that I fought my way back from the depths of a stroke. And when I finish my interview, I'm going into the swimming pool and I'm going to swim.
It's beautiful. Alan Frew, thank you so much.
My pleasure, my friend. My pleasure.